Hello, breadfiesta here, and welcome to a new project. I'm actually really excited for this project because this game is, unironically, it has become one of my favorite games ever. Not one of my favorite games of all time, but one of my favorite games ever, which is a meaningful superlative to me. So, we're playing this on the PS4 in my new recording setup. So I'm going to try to record directly off my monitor rather than off the screen to the side. We'll see how it works. But the game we're going to be playing today is WWE 2K23. I don't own the 24 version yet, but I'd like to. So hopefully I can make that happen soon. And I intend to make some time to do that. This is not going to be part of my Defeating the Queue series where I am trying to beat all the video games I own that I haven't played, because I have played this one quite a bit. You can see that I've got 55% of the trophies, and let's actually start by taking a look at the trophies here. There we go. And because the goal of this is going to be one trophy in particular, ideally two, that I'm hunting for, but one of them is kind of the goal of this project. And this game is also particularly stingy with its trophies. I believe there is only 2 silvers and then only a single gold. Otherwise, all the rest of the trophies are bronze, not counting the platinum, obviously. The platinum, which I am unlikely to get because of all of these in the My Faction mode, which requires you to create an account with an entirely other service, which I'm not keen to do. I think there's an online play component, which I'm not hot for. So probably not going to get the platinum in this one. But the particular trophy that I am looking for is this one here. Pump up the slime. No, it's actually this one. It's brand management. Win a season with each brand in MyGM. So we are going to be playing the MyGM mode of WWE 2K23. I have played this mode quite a bit. I'm very detail oriented when it comes to this. I have notes, all of my booking notes for nearly 5 seasons worth of the MyGM mode. So I am intending to... this was all from 5 seasons of a single brand playthrough. So I still have 4 other brands that I'm going to play through. And that is going to be the project, is I'm going to play through those other brands, get this brand management trophy, and maybe pick up the Pump Up the Slam trophy along the way. Depends how much fun I have with the project, which is bound to be a lot of it. I really enjoy this mode, and let's actually get into the game so we can put some kind of concrete to the abstract, I suppose. I don't suppose I've talked about it too much on the channel breadfiesta here, of which is me. I am breadfiesta, but breadfiesta is also the channel. But I am a fairly big wrestling fan. I don't generally like to call myself a fan of anything, but I do enjoy wrestling. I just went to the show that came into Portland this last week, and I had a lot of fun. I don't watch it regularly anymore because I just don't have the time. But, oh, that's a fun way to interpret creator mode, huh? I guess I will have to edit out this music. There it goes. Okay. I enjoy it. I got back into it in 2017 when my housemate, who I've done videos with, we just started watching right before WrestleMania that year. And we watched for a few years, watching every Raw, every SmackDown. I was watching NXT. And then during the pandemic, we sort of stopped for various reasons. The quality of the shows, and then also just the time commitment was a lot. So now I just watch like clips on YouTube. Occasionally I'll watch some of like the special events. Usually between like the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, I'm watching a little more regularly. But which is going to be happening fairly soon. It's a few months away, but that's sooner than it was a few months ago. So, yeah, and so I at this point I'm mostly paying attention to what's happening on Raw. A lot of the stars on SmackDown I'm not super interested in. And then NXT I do pay attention to. I think some of the stuff they're doing is pretty fun. And that's all. So, and I don't want to make anything more of it. Anyway, we're going to be playing the MyGM mode. WWE 2K23 is a wrestling fighting / simulation game. So the core like gameplay, I suppose I can actually do a match really quick here just for the sake of it. Just have something to do while I'm talking.
Lives to fight number there. Bullseye with the drop kick. She anticipated that one. Xia Li with a cyclone. Xia Li with the cyclone kick. Lives in a terrible predicament. Is it enough? The cover. It's over. All in a nice work.
I'm not going to be playing the exhibition mode. I'm not going to be playing the story mode, mostly because I beat the story mode already. I'm not going to be playing the universe mode or the showcase, which are just more... universe has a little bit more simulation aspect to it, where you can book shows and book storylines and rivalries and stuff. Showcase mode is just a series of matches involving the John Cena. And then my faction is that online component bit. There's also a pretty involved like creation suite, so you can create your own superstars, wrestlers. You can create their entrance motions. You can create their movesets, championships, the Money in the Bank, all that stuff. We're not doing any of that, mostly because, as seen in that last exhibition match, very hard for me to concentrate on both the gameplay and talking at the same time. So what we're actually going to be doing is we are going to be playing the MyGM mode. As previously stated, I'm sure I will edit and stamp all this together. So, before we get into a new season from scratch, I figured it would be good to show like a season in progress so that I can kind of talk about how the project is going to go. How the typical sort of gameplay works, without like the game plays a little bit different when you're first getting started, because you're not able to do as many things, or you don't have as many options, I guess, available to you to really make your show successful. So I wanted to show my season in progress, where I'm into season 5. I am playing as Stephanie McMahon on Raw, and I am winning by a healthy amount over Sonya Deville's SmackDown, and then the 2 NXT shows are also playing. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to play today the last 2 weeks of this season 5, just to kind of show what like a typical week is in MyGM, and then a typical every 5 weeks there's like the premium event, and so there's a little bit of a difference there, and then just kind of that'll give a sense of what each season will look like, and we'll look at for each brand. So yeah, let's get into it. I would like to load this save data, thank you. So each week, or when the season starts, you draft a bunch of superstars to your show. You can add more as you recruit them. But a typical week is going to start with each of your superstars emailing you, or if they have something to say, and giving you some information. So, for example, first we have Aaliyah reaching out. She had requested a rematch, a title rematch. Or no, this was just a regular rematch, kind of an old rivalry that I was filling the card with. Aaliyah asked for a rematch, which I gave to her last week. And although she didn't win, which is probably what she's going to tell me here, she does appreciate the opportunity. I do really look out for my talent here at Raw. Thank you. You'll see that Aaliyah her morale is happy, much like everybody else on the show. So good for me. Jinder Mahal is not happy losing his strap. Jinder Mahal was the United States champion, and now he is not because he lost to Trick Williams. Too bad. As a former champion, I'm enacting my rematch clause. I want a championship rematch against Trick. Nobody else better get a shot at the United States Championship before me. Yeah, that's fine. Sure thing. So sometimes you'll be presented with situations like this where the superstars on your roster will make demands, and you have to either make a promise to them, or deny it at the cost of their morale. I am generally in the position of keeping all my promises, just giving the superstars anything they want. That's why all their morale is so great. You can see even Jinder very happy. So yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, you were a 2-time champion actually, so we could make it 3 times, whatever. When you first enter, so after you've answered all your emails, you're presented with your home screen where you can review your journal, see what you have, any promises outstanding. So I've got Jinder Mahal needs an exclusive title rematch against Trick Williams. Depending on how their stamina is, I might do that this week. If not, it'll happen next week. And then it also tells you if you have any contracts that are expiring, which all the seasons are 25 weeks long, so all of your non-permanent contracts will expire by that point. You've also got the weekly commissioner goal, which can get you a bonus power card that you can use. So in this case, the goal or the challenge is to schedule a run-in on one of your champions. Maybe. I'll think about it. Pre-match physio is a good card. Although I'm generally not in the business of booking superstars. I'm nearly at the end of season 5. I have had 0 injuries. Part of that is because I did not make any of the rival GMs Cactus Jack or Mick Foley, because then I would have at least 3 injuries a season, because I've been on top the entire time. I think, at least. I might have at the very beginning not been in first at the beginning of season 1. It takes some time to sort of spool up. Okay. You can also see your kind of career progress. And so I haven't, once you get these like 10 MyGM trophies, you can retire the save file. But there are so many other things that I haven't done yet. I have not earned 100 million in lifetime revenue. I didn't even realize that I'm not even halfway to that. So that's something. I would like to get to 10 million fans. Fan gain, really difficult at this point. Finish 10 seasons ranked in 2nd place or better. I would like to do that. So this save file is, I think, going to stick around. I would like to keep this one up. I am curious how the others did, because Sonya very recently got up to the 10th trophy, which I'm guessing was this one here, the 8.5 million, because the others are not even, Tyler Breeze doesn't even have 7 million yet. So, neat. You're able to book your show here, so this is where all of the action happens. This is where you'll have 4 matches that you'll put onto your show, and then up to 3 promos. Promos being like non-action talking segments. And so we'll take a look at those in a little bit. This is usually the part I do either last or second to last. You've got various logistics to make your show, the quality of your show, a little bit better, because you're going to have a more exciting show in a big open stadium than you will in a high school gym, but at the cost of, for example, while booking the high school gym is free, as you can see in the lower right corner there, booking the big open stadium costs $250,000. So, yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, and then there's also bonuses to that. So like, if I do book the big open stadium, and I also book 2 level 4 or higher rivalries, which is the highest level, so book 2 level 4 rivalries, then I do get a reward with my superstars gaining more popularity, and my show getting more quality. So that's just something to think about for each of the arena, crew, special effects, and advertisement logistics there. That I usually just that's what I actually do last, is just make sure I get all my bonuses, and then tweak the show if I want to do a little bit better. You can manage your roster, so you can see all of my superstars. I have kind of a larger roster than I usually like to run. I usually like to run about 20 superstars. I've got 22 this time because there were a couple who were in the free agency that I didn't want to pass up. And then I also picked up a legend, which I don't usually do. I'm using like a custom draft pool here. I try to like balance it, because the game is the default draft pool isn't super balanced in terms of some of the kind of classes that are available. So if we just take a look at one, and I'm going to be careful, very careful here, because the default option is to release your talent, which is not what I want to do. But the superstars have a number of different things. So these are kind of like your tokens on a board game board, essentially. They have their star power is based on their popularity. But the greater amount of star power you have on your show, the higher quality your show is going to be, the more fans are going to watch it and be attracted to your show. You've got classes, so there are class matchups. There are fighter and bruiser. The classes don't really mean anything. There's cruisers and giants, and then there are specialists. And so there's you get bonuses when you pair like fighters against bruisers or giants versus cruisers. What I've found is that class matchups don't matter too much. If you get their star power high enough, then people will watch. The superstars will put on good matches regardless of whether their classes match up. So I've not worried about the classes actually too much. You've got roles, so they're either a crowd pleaser or a people teaser. That's okay. They're either a face or a heel. A face being like JC Jane here with the green comedy mask, and then red for Aaliyah here is a heel. So that does matter. You do want to pair faces versus heels, good guys versus bad guys, because two good guys fighting each other, the crowd gets confused who to cheer for. Two bad guys facing each other, the crowd doesn't want to cheer for either of them. So good guy versus bad guy, straightforward. That's the most simple kind of booking. Popularity is how popular they are, up to 100. And so you'll see on my roster here, my least popular is Mustafa, down at 79. But in general, like most of my roster is in the 90s. So I this is a land of popular warriors, I suppose. So there's popularity, stamina, which is just how much energy they have to perform. The key kind of threshold there is 40. So if their stamina is 40 or lower, there's a risk that they can get injured. If it's above 40, I have not had any injuries above 40, so I don't believe there is any injury chance. There may be, and I've just gotten lucky, but I have not had any injuries above or 41 or above stamina. So I try to I have only booked superstars in matches with less than 40 stamina like maybe 2 or 3 times. I try not to do it. Because the more kind of risk, the more you run down your superstars, the less happy they'll be, and I want to keep everybody very happy. They've also got, each superstar has match specialties, what they're good at. They have a promo skill. Normally, you're not going to see a lot of 5 out of 5 promo skills, but I had a power up in a much earlier season, which powered up actually a lot of the women, because at the time I had probably about a quarter of all the women in the game on my roster, and bumped them all up to 5 out of 5 promo skill. So that has dramatically shifted sort of like the dynamics of this playthrough, but it's worked out. And then if they have a rivalry, in which Aaliyah actually has 2 rivalries going on, and one of them I wish she didn't, the tag rivalry there. But yeah, so these are kind of our pieces to play with in this board game, this simulation game. And I've got some ideas here. I want to sort by stamina because I think I have a bunch of people who are, like Ilya, I'm not going to book this week. JC I am going to book because she is at 41. If she was at 40, I would be hesitant to do so, but 41 is perfectly fine. Jinder wants his title match, but I kind of need to rest him, so I think he's going to have his title match next week. That I think is fine. And it's an exclusive title match too, which is a bummer. Because I had a plan for Jinder, and I promised him something different than my plan. But you got to be flexible. You don't know what's going to happen. Especially because there are ways that the other rosters, the other shows can affect your show. But we'll take a look at that in a second. There's also free agents and legends that you can sign. So you can recruit new people to your show if you have, in the initial draft, if you're missing like a matchup that you're looking for, or your roster's running thin, or you just need somebody to run a match while somebody else recovers if there's an injury. So there's usually a lot of options here. There's also some like lower card local talent that you can recruit and build up. That's what I haven't done that at all this season, but I have done that quite a bit. So you can actually see on my show here, Ella Rubao, who is my women's world champion here. She has been on my roster since I want to say like the first couple weeks. I want to see when I recruited Ella. It would have been. This is just interesting for me, I think. Okay. So it was in the first week. When was Ella's first? Ella's first match was in the second week. And yeah, I recruited her as a local talent, and she won her very first match. And so I just decided, like, yep, let's just build her up. And now she's my world champion, I believe 4-time world champion. So Ella Rubao is a key part of Monday Night Raw. But we also have Vicky McLeod, who was, I believe, a season 2 pickup, but has been a kind of a mainstay on the show. And who else do I have? I also have Heath Manhattan here, who has been one of my keepers since the beginning as well. He is also I think a 1-time world champion and multi-time United States champion. Although I am feuding him with the world champion. And boy, I would love for him to win next week. Yeah, there's also, I didn't mention this here, but there are also titles. A big thing in wrestling is championships. So on each show, there is a men's world championship, a women's world championship, a men's singles championship, which for Monday Night Raw is the United States Championship, which Trick Williams has here. And then there is a men's tag championship and then a women's tag team championship. And so I've got my women's world champion, Ella Rubau, my men's world champion, Austin Theory. Big Austin Theory fan. Trick Williams is my United States champion. He's also a tag team champion with Jey Uso. And then my women's tag champions are Aaliyah and Vicky McLeod. Who I believe they've been tag team champions before, but not with each other. But I have plans. Okay. I also have a bunch of rivalries all at various levels. I'd like to build up some of those. And so that's going to be part of the booking. Last thing I'll show off before I actually get into the booking, because I just got I really like this mode. I'm very much into this. So there are these power cards. This is actually how you interact with the other shows and how you can either improve your own show for a temporary gain or impact another show by you have like vetoing stars, doubling the cost of their matches, vetoing their champs, which is bound to happen to me, I'm sure. But you can also counter them. You can get like free booking for some of your logistics. You can double the cost of their power cards. This one's tough, like lowering their rivalries. This is a really good card. But yeah, so there's a bunch of different options here. And then there are some, you can buy 3 different options per week. You can also get them from completing the Commissioner Goal Challenge, like with this pre-match physio, or by completing various like season challenges, which I have done all of them, even though it says 89%. But I think there's something broken, like it didn't give me all of them, because you can see like the scroll bar right to the right here, or I guess in the middle of the screen. There's room for it to scroll down, but if I hit down, it just goes back to the top. So I think something got screwed up, and I did also complete 4 challenges at once, so that might have just screwed it up. But I also have 127 power cards available, so I've got a lot. So I am going to buy actually all 3 of these, I think. I'm sure there's a maximum in your inventory, but okay. So let's actually get into booking the show here. So my goal for this week, because there is only 2 more weeks left in the season, so there's 1 regular show, and then WrestleMania is next week, which is going to be all out. I'm going to go all out. So I know what my main event's going to be, because I've been planning this. This is actually like years in the making, seasons in the making, I suppose. My main event is going to be a tag team match, and it is going to be Shotzi and JC Jane, who I believe last season had a kind of like a blood feud rivalry, that in my head, like booking the storyline, ended with them with a mutual respect. JC turned face afterwards, and honestly has just been crushing it. I actually want to see on my managed roster, because I know where is JC at? JC's near the top. 100 popularity, 3 win streak. JC doesn't have a lot of wins, but she's on a hot streak right now. Shotzi, I think, has more. Oh, Shotzi lost her last match because it was a mess of a match, I believe. What's Ella's? Ella is a 15-15. I don't think I have anybody who has like a really good like win record. Like Heath Manhattan's lost like a bunch. And this is not like the win-loss records from this like year. I think Nikita might have a winning record. No. Aaliyah didn't. Austin Theory doesn't. I'm just interested. 8-17, 10-11. Trick might. Yeah, Trick has a winning record, but he's only been on my roster this season. 15-15. Ella has had more than 30 matches, so I don't really know how it's doing the win-loss record. Because yeah, Ella has been on my roster since season 1. So Okay. Anyway, main event. Main event is going to be a tag team match. It is going to be Shotzi and JC Jane versus the tag team champions Aaliyah and Vicky McLeod in a title match, which is going to be brutal for Vicky because she's going to lose her popularity boost from the titles. Spoilers, Shotzi and JC are going to win this one, and we'll take care of that in a bit. So I know that one is happening. I know I want to do a call-out promo. So there's different like promos. Well, for the matches you saw, we can have one-on-one. We can have tag team matches, which is 2v2. Triple threat, which is 1v1v1. So just 3 people in the match. And then fatal 4-way, which is 1v1, v1, v1. So there's different reasons to do each. And then there's different types of matches as well, which can cost the superstars involved in the match different amounts of stamina, but can also give different boosts to the quality of the match. So, for example, a Hell in a Cell match is rarely going to get less than 5 stars. And the more stars you get, in addition to the star power of the superstars, the better quality your show is, the more fans you'll gain. Then there are some that have additional boosts, like a steel cage match also has a chance to raise rivalry, to raise a rivalry 2 levels instead of just 1. This has only happened to me a single time in all of the 5 seasons. Steel cage matches usually give me no benefit. They usually don't bump a rivalry at all for me, so I kind of hate them. Backstage brawls, very expensive, but you get boosts to fans. And the superstars are more popular afterwards. Submission matches, which can end rivalries. Normally, rivalries only end at the every 5-week premium live events. So submission matches give you a little more control over that. Iron Man match gives more popularity, but higher risk of injury. And last man standing for morale. I believe there's also a special tag team. There's Tornado Tag, which is a little more popularity and higher risk of injury. That might be interesting for the main event. A Tornado Tag match title thing in JC's stamina. We'll think about it. Anyway, I need to book the promo because I want to do a call-out promo. I would like to do Heath calling out Austin Theory. Heath's promo skill is only a 2 out of 5, which is not great. But I just need it to be good enough, I guess. Normally I would rather have Austin Theory call out Heath Manhattan. I think what did they do last week? Last week, Theory defeated Heath. They've been having a war with words, and then they actually had a match last week where Theory defeated Heath. So maybe this is going to be Heath calling out Theory and saying he still deserves a title shot because maybe Theory cheated in the match. That seems likely. That seems like a thing that Austin Theory would do. Whatever. He'll call out for a title match at WrestleMania. That sounds great to me. I guess I need to have... I don't know what to do with Jinder. What else do I have? What are my other feuds going on? Ella and Wendy Chu. I would love to maybe I can have Wendy. What was Ella and Wendy's last thing? This is why I take all these notes. Ella had a match last week. Had her grudge match with Aaliyah. And Wendy ran in on the match. So maybe this is Wendy calling out Ella because Ella's stamina is also kind of low. Lower than I would like it to be. 53 is not that bad. Maybe they could have a match. Preview match. Nah, let's do the call out. let's have Wendy call out Ella. Wendy is among the superstars who got her her promo skill raised to 5 back in the first season. Wendy is also a heel. I'm having her play a sleep paralysis demon, which is basically what's happening on NXT currently. I came up with the idea first, though. So, yeah, I like this. This might go here. I might do 3 callouts. I have to think about it. What else can I book? Seth and T-Bar are going to have a match at WrestleMania. Is T-Bar stamina good? Yes, but his popularity is stinky. 87 being stinky. I do need... Oh, it's Xia Li's stamina. Xia Li's stamina is 75. Asuka's is 63. They need to have a match. I need to put them in a match this week. Their last encounter was Xia ran in on a tag match where Shotzi and JC defeated Bianca and Asuka because Bianca was like, I want to tag with Asuka, and I was like, that's not what I want to do, but sure, well, fine. It worked out. It was a 3.5 star match. Not the greatest, but better than some of the other stinkers that I've done in the last couple weeks. Totally my fault. I rarely have less than a 3-star match. Honestly, I haven't had a less than a 3.5 star match in a few weeks. Actually, yeah. The last less than 3.5 star match I had was Xia Li versus Asuka, which was surprising. I think it was just that they didn't just have their heart in it, kind of where I put them on the card. They just didn't perform. Opener, this should be a good match. Asuka's popularity is getting up there. Their stamina is pretty good. I might gimmick this one, but let's just put it on the card for now. What else? Let's see here. I could boost up Mustafa and Tony D'Angelo have good amount of stamina. I might put them in a steel cage match, actually. What was their last encounter? It was just a call out. So this is sort of a short fuse feud. So I might do that just to see like if I can make something work here. Cause yeah, any little bit I can make to make some of these like rivalries go. So yeah, let's do Tony D'Angelo versus Mustafa Ali. Let's theoretically put them in a steel cage match. Stamina cost is high, but their stamina is pretty high. I don't think this will knock them down into I don't think this will take more than 30 stamina. 28, I guess. I don't think it's going to be that much for just sort of a steel cage. What was the commissioner goal again? Schedule a run-in on one of your champions. I guess I can do that because like, what was one of the feuds I was working on? I could do something with Trick. I could give Jinder the title back. That's interesting. Oh, the order of this card is going to be real interesting. Because I could have him like run in on. Or do I save the title match? Yeah, because Trick won over Mahal. So yeah, let's do... Oh yeah, this is good because I just turned Ilya and I was trying to make like Ilya versus Jimmy Uso happen. It didn't last week, but I would like it to. So let's just have it happen again. Ilya's stamina is pretty low, but doing a run-in, I don't think you can get hurt on that. So let's do Jinder versus Jey Uso. And let's do an interference. Ilya on Jey Uso. Because then this is perfect. Because this way Jinder can qualify for the title match. It's a normal match, so it shouldn't cost him like too much stamina. Ideally, if it costs him 0 or 1, that would be great. And if not, I'll have a pre-match physio so I can make sure that Jinder doesn't get, or I can lower the chance that Jinder gets injured in the title match. This seems good. I want this to be the main event. This has to be the main event. So JC is going to be below 40 stamina regardless, because a title match, you're not getting away with a 0 stamina. So I might just boost that one and then just sort of go bunk on. Because who is JC feuding with? JC is feuding with Nikita. Ooh, not having a match for Nikita, though, is kind of a bummer. I'll think about it. I'll think about what I can do for Nikita. Because I'm going to have Katana and Aaliyah. They'll have a match. Lacey, I got nothing to do. I might just do like a cold Lacey versus Nikita match if JC's not up to it. Who do I want to give this last promo spot to? I might give it to Katana, just or T-Bar. Goodness gracious. Let's see here. A lot of these, yeah, their popularity is going to take a hit if they're not on the show, or if they're not mentioned at least. Like Ella will be fine, Austin will be fine because they're getting called out. Trick will be fine because he's a double champion. Nikita. Oh my gosh, I have so many people in these level 4 feuds. I feel like it's got to be. I feel like it, but T-Bar's got a 2 promo skill. He might just not do well. I don't have a spot for T-Bar on the card otherwise. Because I can't just put him in this steel cage match because he's a heel. I can't put him in this match because he's a heel. I think I have to give it to T-Bar. Or I could give it to Seth and just hope that T-Bar's popularity doesn't drop. Having a higher Seth, will that be better than A? Katana, Nikita, or Ella. I could give it to Ella. Let's give it to Seth. Risk. It's the risk versus reward. Do I try a self promo with T-Bar, which he's unlikely to lose popularity from it. I don't think he's that bad of a promo. Or do I give it to Seth and give him a cherry for just like a bit more fans? I'm going to give it to T-Bar. I'm going to trust you, man. And I am going to put this here, though. I like to balance it so that it's not 2 call-outs in a row. So I think this is a good order for the promos. Now let's think about the order of the matches and if I want to gimmick this. Because it might stand on its own. I think it will be better than Jinder versus Jay because this match is kind of cold. It's got like a cold run in. So then now the order to think about is, does Xia Li versus Asuka, is that a better match than Tony versus Mustafa? What I could do is maybe this. Is swap these two. I think if I do this, because Xia and Asuka is definitely going to do better than Jinder and Jay. Is the steel cage match going to be better than the tag team title match? Tag team title match also doesn't have a rivalry. I could put it a tables match. Aaliyah's good at tables matches and she's been running a bunch of them. Or do I do tornado tag? Let's see what cards I have actually. Okay. Because I'm thinking maybe TLC would be a good... I only have one TLC card, so that might not be the right option. What about for Tornado Tag? I have 3 Tornado Tag cards. So I think, yeah, I will do a Tornado Tag team match. Yeah, this feels good. Make sure that the titles are still on the line. Because sometimes when you change the type of match, the title gets removed. This was a hassle earlier when somebody demanded a title match. Nikita, I think. So I had to do some on-the-fly booking to make that promise. To keep that promise, basically. Okay. So, Tornado Tag match for the titles. I could put something on Lee Asuka. And then maybe I don't have to do a tornado tag match here. Because they've got a lot of stamina. And I know they're good at Hell in a Cell. Who's Hell in a Cell? Xia is. I do Hell in a Cell, and then just in the next match, just take the top off for the steel cage match. That's kind of funny. Hell in a Cell might exhaust them, so I might do something like Extreme Rules. I could do a backstage brawl, actually. 'Cause that's high. It's expensive, but whatever. That might be fine. As long as Asuka doesn't lose 23 stamina, that could be good. Yeah. Then I don't have to feel bad about not doing the charity promo with Seth. Now, do I still want to do this order? I think if I gimmick the now I'm committed. I have to do the tornado tag match. I also need to, before I forget here, and I shouldn't be using these so like callously, or not callously, but there. Now JC is guaranteed to win the match, so spoilers, new tag champs. Okay. Steel cage match, gonna just bet on them getting a deal, a bump up to level 3. That would be great, or just up to level 2. I don't. hopefully Baltimore, Maryland likes steel cage matches. Open up with the backstage brawl. We've got a number 1 contender match for the U.S. title, Jinder Mahal versus Jey Uso. We've got a steel cage match where Tony is talking smack, talking Raw, I guess, because this is Monday Night Raw, against Mustafa, and they're gonna have a match. Tony has been on kind of a good streak lately, so and then we've got our tag team titles, Shotzi and JC. They weren't a super great team after in season 4, but they've really been picking up the chemistry. They've gotten a couple of really big wins, including over Aaliyah and Vicky a couple weeks ago, so they earned this title shot. And then they beat Bianca and Asuka. So I like that. I like this. Not a lot of variety. It's 3 singles matches and then a tag match, but I think that's fine. The only other thing I could do is maybe make this a... Who else could I put in this? Triple threat or fatal 4-way? Maybe just to get more people on the card. Because I could put like Seth in here. It's only Seth or Austin, so I'll do a triple threat. Because I want to rest Trick. I don't have to rest Trick. I also want to guarantee that Jinder wins, but you know what? We'll say if Jinder wins, then he has earned his rematch, and if he doesn't, then he can just evoke his rematch clause, and I can make a fatal 4-way cluster match for the title at WrestleMania. That's fine. All right. There we go. Seth's on the card now. And that gives a little bit more variety. I think that'll be a little bit better of a match. Okay, let's look at the logistics. So I think I only have one. Yeah, I have a level 3 and a level 1 rivalry on the card because promos don't count. So the highest that I'll get a bonus for is this one, which is show quality 13%. With +1 popularity for all the booked stars. But I think just the capacity and the ticket price, like you're looking at a maximum, get my calculator out here. Calculator. So 7,500 capacity times 7 is $52,500. The cost of 20K is $32,500 is the maximum amount of profit you can get from booking this place. Whereas if you just go with the big open stadium, like the show quality is only 12%, so it's 1% less quality. I don't get the booked superstars reward for the +2 popularity, but at 100,000 capacity, which I'm not able to fill that, I'm only able to get about like 61,000 people at $10 a ticket, minus the cost of 250,000. That is $360,000 profit, which is about 10 times better. So got to go with the big open stadium. It's just financially a better decision. Not that I'm really hurting for money right now. I mean, I've got over $2 million in the bank. So, but the 1% bonus is not worth it. I believe I can do up to this, yeah? For, so this is a 21% popularity. I don't get the reward because I don't have anybody under 2 star power. But just the better quality. And then for these, for special effects and advertisements, I can always do the top. Because book 4 superstars with 4 greater star power. All my superstars are at 5 star power, so that's fine. I think. Oh, I do not want to exit. Mustafa might only be at 4. No, Mustafa is at 5. Okay. I think 78 popularity is the threshold between 4 and 5 stars. So, okay. And then book 2 superstars with 70 popularity or greater on promos. Always going to happen. So I can always do those. Big open stadium. Veteran crew. This is good. I bought all the power cards. And I don't have anything I can really do for next week. I could attack the other shows, but I actually have not ever done that. I haven't felt the need to, because why punch down? You know? So, take that. So I think I am good. Maybe I do a health spa. Maybe that might be smart. I've got 5 of these level 2 ones. Who could use it? I could give it to Austin Theory, and then Austin Theory could put on a bang. I could give it to Austin and Ella. Because Ella would otherwise get to... I am going to do it for Austin because he is closer to 40. And I'll think about it for Ella since I have so many of them. Where did it go? Reorders them all the time. So Ella would get 12 more in addition to the 12 that she normally recover. So that would be a 24. So her stamina would go up to 77, which compared to who is she dealing with? Wendy. Wendy is at 68, and she will gain 6 this week for being in a promo. So Wendy would get up to 74. Yeah, why not? Why not is I need to think about the future. Because this playthrough is this raw playthrough is gonna keep going. So I need to save my cards. I need to be a little more cautious, perhaps. So let's just make sure I used all the cards that I need to, though. I did fix the match for JC. I did use the Tornado Alley, and I sent Austin Theory to the health spa. I think I'm good. I know that was a lot of prep, but at this point in the season, especially in season 5, there's just a lot to think about. In the earlier seasons, there's not as much to really think about. You just kind of are throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So I might have bumped the camera there on accident, but okay. I think I'm good with this. Am I certain about the order? Yes, I am. Okay. So I'm going to hit confirm booking, big open stadium, veteran crew, industry leading special effects, movie deals, 4 matches, show cost of $615,000, which is a lot, but I am going to get a profit from the stadium. I should be fine. Even if I'm not, there's no way I can spend $2 million in WrestleMania and then your budget resets at the start of the season. So I think we're fine. I always get so nervous before I hit confirm booking, so I'm just going to do it, and we're just going to see what happens. We're going to see how the show shakes down. Okay, so after you've done all the booking, this is where the actual matches happen. Unlike in real life, where matches are scripted, so whoever is booking the matches also picks the winner of the match, which is kind of what I did for the main event. In this, they're treated like they are actual athletic competitions. So not going to really know who wins until they actually have the match. So let's see who wins in this backstage brawl in which Asuka doesn't exert more than 22 stamina. Okay. So Zaya versus... I also take my notes. This is when I take my notes of the show is as it's happening.
1, 2, that's 3. Ring the bell.
Kind of figured that Zaya would win. And it grows to level 4, and it's a 4.5 star. That is very good. Lee defeats Asuka. 4.5 stars. Great. The rivalry grew to level 3. That's all I need. It was an okay promo. I'm okay with it. Because as long as a rivalry is at level 3, then it can be blown off at the rivalry can be ended at the premium event at WrestleMania. So Manhattan calls Theory, and it was okay, but I don't need to write that down. Okay, Jinder versus Jay versus Seth Freakin', and the match will be good because I have a power up that boosts the quality of matches that have fighters and specialists in them, and this match has both of those, so it'll be at least a good match there. Everybody's over 90 popularity, or at least at 90 popularity. There's a run-in on Jay, which is fine. Ideally, I want Jinder to win this, but if Seth wins, that's also fine.
Ring that bell.
Great. And I get a new rivalry with Dragunov and Uso. Not that it super matters, but you know what? A 4-star match is fine by me. So that was Mahal defeats... Seth is probably going to be upset because Seth hasn't won a match in a while. I'll just let him beat up. Oh, he won in week 21. T-Bar is going to be upset because he hasn't had a match in forever. Mahal defeats Uso and Rollins. It's Jay won also recently too, so everybody's fine. Nobody's going to be mad about this. And then 4-star and Uso had Dragunov run in. Okay. T-Bar something. All right, you know what? +0 is if a superstar is not booked, they lose some popularity because the fans have goldfish brains. But getting a +0 is fine. It means his popularity is at least going to stay stable. Plus he was booked, so he'll get a boost from just being on the show, from the show logistics. All right, steel cage match, Tony D'Angelo versus Mustafa Ali. I would love this match to get a double boost in the rivalry to get up to level 3.
1, 2.
But then again, based on how steel cage matches have treated me before, well, at least it was bumped up to level 2. Just any rivalry will help at WrestleMania here. This is probably not going to be my best WrestleMania ever, but it's going to be decent enough. So that was D'Angelo defeats Ali in a 4-star match. Okay. Wendy calls out Ella Rubao, and the rivalry grows to level 4. That's perfect. Chu calls Rubao. Okay. Perfect. And that's Wendy just saying, like, you can't duck me forever, Ella. I'm coming back for my title that you're holding. I'm going to be the nightmare in your sleep or something like that. Probably going to be a multi-woman match for the title because I have an idea. All right, and then the tag team title match, which there's been a spoiler perhaps that one team might be winning, Team Green. 2, 3. Oh, look at that. Shotzi and Jacy Jayne won. 5-star legendary match. They won the titles. Finally a redemption from last WrestleMania where they had this whole big build and then they didn't win because I forgot to fix the match for them. But now I did. I made them whole. So that is Shotzi and Jane defeat McLeod and Aaliyah in a 5-star match where the women's tag titles change. Excellent. So then we can also see what the other shows are doing, which I will do real quick here while I enter into my Google Drive that we have new tag champions. So let's see what they're doing. This match, one thing that some of the other shows like to do is they like to run their superstars into the ground. Like, it's a normal match, so there's a low chance of injury, but Butch is at 10 stamina. It's also Bruiser, which is not a great matchup, but then again, they're at 98 popularity, so the matchup doesn't really matter too much. it's also a normal match in the opener, so it might not be that great. Or it's exactly great, but Butch is injured forever. So, too bad. Trish calls out Andrea Cannons. Andrea Cannons is one of the superstars that SmackDown has built up, who never gets put into a match. They have a level 4 rivalry, and it's probably not even going to be on their card next week. Let's see. Oh, they must have hired Maurice recently, just based on that popularity there. This match is going to probably be a stinker.
That's 3. Bring it.
Probably boosted just... It's good, at least, because of Ivy. Pretty Ruthless. This is another person who... At some point, one of the other shows must have gotten that power-up that increased people's promo skills to 5. Because Pretty Ruthless, yeah. 5 popularity, 5 promo skill. Good for them. Carmella versus Gigi Dolan. This looks like Gigi doesn't get a whole lot of matches.
2. Ring it.
But Carmella wins. Carmella, who was my original women's world champion, and has not been on my roster since. Just because I haven't been able to recruit. Chester is 100 popularity, 100 stamina, and a self-promo does nothing for them. And they're copying me by also doing a tornado tag in the main event without their tag team champions in it. I know one of their tag team champions was Butch. I don't know who the other one is. I think it's Kofi, but Kofi might also be injured forever. So we're just going to have a match with Tyler Bate and Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn and Montez Ford. All 4 of these men are going to have dangerous stamina for next week.
1, 2. That's it. It's over. Hit the bell.
Apparently they've got a rivalry. Okay, 4.5 star match. Good for them. Okay, Shotzi and JC Jane, and I don't believe either of them have been tag team champions with anybody else before. Yeah, it's both their first time. Good for them. Okay. What do they got? Ridge Holland versus Matt Riddle. Ridge Holland, who's back on NXT. This was an email that I received back in Season 1, and I'd never seen anybody who's ever played this game ever receive this email before. But Ridge reached out to me and was like, hey, my boss sucks. Can you hire me instead? And I was just like, yeah, let's just see what happens. He ended up being just the biggest stinker on my entire roster. Just could not get anything working with him. And I can see that his morale is also very low, so he does not seem particularly happy to be back on NXT. Well, let's see how he does against Matt Riddle here in Extreme Rules match. He won. That can only help his morale, although he's still probably going to quit next week. X-Pac. Cool. Karrion Kross, Kit Wilson, Cruz del Toro, and Chad Gable. NXT has been copying. I had like a legendary Karrion Kross, Cruz del Toro feud. Cruz del Toro, Raul Mendoza. That's my guy. I'm a big Cruz del Toro fan. I'm a big fan of a lot of wrestlers, but Cruz del Toro I'm a big fan of. Boy, his stamina though. Just noticed that. I also noticed Karrion Kross is not happy either. So this match will be fun. I'm going to guess that Del Toro and Gable win.
1, 2. That's 3. Ring the bell.
I guess correctly. Self-promo from Shinsuke, who's already at 100 popularity, so this does nothing for him. We got another tag team match here. Tiffany Stratton versus Karen Compactor. Must have just been recruited. And then Becky Lynch and Queen Zelina. Becky Lynch, basically the only woman in the game who has not been on my roster. Just haven't had a chance to recruit her. I'm guessing in this one it's going to be Becky and Zelina.
1, 2. That's it. Ring the bell.
I'm so good. They're 3.5 star matches, so it's doing fine. Matt Adore is also another superstar who I raised up, So, good for him. Getting a job again. This is your main event, huh? I guess they have a rivalry, but okay. If that's what you want to do. Put your world title on Clay Courtman. They did. It stayed on Sheamus. NXT 2.0 has been just a tragic show lately. They have been like, there are a couple of feuds they've been like trying to push that have just stunk. They have basically no money, so they can't run like big venues. It's tragic. So what do we got here? This is apparently a rivalry match. Miz and Ezekiel. Miz and Ezekiel.
1, 2, it's over.
Miz and Ezekiel. Neat. John the Fish Herman finally cutting a good promo after 3 weeks of trying and getting one popularity out of it. Valhalla and Raquel, they were both on my roster. It's really unfortunate. Valhalla was actually pretty popular on my roster, but yeesh. And that was a gimmick match, too. That was the last woman standing match. Bummer. Braun. Okay. Luke Gallows and Akira Tozawa are feuding, and then Elias is my guy. Like, I've said it a few times, but Elias, big fan of Elias. I was an Elias diehard before anybody else. So I hope he gets rehired in real life. I hope he wins this match. I hope that Luke and Akira fight each other. Good for me. I'm so good at predicting this stuff. Somehow this is a 4-star match too. That's good for NXT 2.0. They have been trying desperately to make this Cash Suplex Elias feud work. And I guess Cash Suplex has a 5 promo skill now, so that's cool. Candice LeRae, Liv Morgan for the women's title.
1, 2,
Liv wins. That was a pretty decent show for each of the shows. Save for that 2.0 or 2.0 star match on 2.0. Let's check out. Okay. All right. Asuka still has over 40 stamina, so they can still do a strong match on the pay-per-view. Jinder is under 40, which is unfortunate. So we'll have to be careful with him. These two are fine. And JC, oh boy. Yeah, JC is way too low. So is Aaliyah. That is unfortunate. Oh, I have to be real careful. Okay. All right, well, let's see how we did. 145 rating score is real good. That's a lot better than I usually get. I'm usually around like 120, so very pleased. 28,000 fans gained, 141,000 profit, despite spending. Yeah, I almost got 70,000 people into the crowd, actually. That's one of my highest attendances ever. Shotzi and JC take the women's tag championships. Feels like it's Ali Mania at Raw right now. Didn't Ali lose? Oh, he's popular. Let's see. I love watching JC Jane fight, but she's looking tired. Is Raw going to run her into the ground until her bones break? No. Not intending to. Raw pushing even further ahead in the ratings war with NXT. Why? I'm not feuding with NXT. They're in a distant third place. And I like that every match in this week's Raw felt different from the last one. Neat. Great. Yeah. So there is where we're at. Yeah, 121. They get 4,000 fans. So at these like high levels, when you're getting up into like the 7, 8, 9 million, gaining more fans, real difficult. Not an easy task. Do they have any notes? Sometimes the show notes, like they'll give you some things of just like, oh, like Xia Li is good at Hell in a Cell matches. They got a lot of money, though. They have nearly $3 million budget, so they're going to be dangerous. 114 score for NXT. They lost 1,000 fans. That's tragic. Karen Compactor and Tiffany Stratton really work well as a team. Cool. NXT and NXT 2.0 have been hovering around like $100,000 to $200,000 budget, and they've not been able to increase it. So it's just sort of like this like deficit they've been unable to get out of. I don't know how they fix that. Probably just wait until next season and do better. NXT 2.0 gained fans, though. They had, I think, the same rating score as... NXT had a higher rating score, but they lost 5,000 fans for some reason. They must have a power-up that powers them down for some reason. But they also have... NXT 2.0 has a higher fan retention because they have less fans, so they're losing less fans each week because they have less fans to lose. But their money situation is even worse. All right. And I get an extra pre-match physio, which is great because I got a couple of wrestlers who are not in great shape. Okay. So here's where the ratings are heading into WrestleMania. And I'm just going to play through because why not? Whatever. I'll edit this down.